Hello, worldies, and welcome back to my naughty little channel. Today, I want to just kind of record something about one of the comments that I received on one of my recent videos. So this video is titled "Women Have to Be Bad to Level Up." Right there in that video, which I'll place it up in the cards if I can remember. But it is where I'm basically announcing a series that I'm doing over on my members page, which my members page has two tiers, Naughty World and Diabolical World. In Diabolical World, you will start to get access to like Patreon recordings. I may put some things like, I know some people like just the audio on Patreon versus other people like having like the pretty pictures to look at too. So I'm going to be over on that tier, the Diabolical World, making some of my Patreon uploads into like a video format and putting it up there. But both tiers are having access to this this series that I've started, where I'm talking about how to basically unleash yourself or unlearn, I should say, the good girl script, where I truly have this belief that many of us were conditioned to be good because it keeps us more vulnerable, it keeps us more subservient, and it keeps us in the the follower position in society. It keeps us leveled down and dusty and easily controlled. I think that many of the tactics that you need to use in order to become more leveled up as a woman, if people find out about them, you're going to start to slowly become labeled as a bad woman. And so that's what I was talking about in that video. But I want to read this comment that I got from a subscriber where, let's see. So in this down here, they're saying, I love watching level up movies. Sabrina, made in 1995, and Pretty Woman, made in 1990. Those movies have women who level up and aren't the bully. And so that is in reference to like a claim I was making in the video, where I was basically saying that if you look into pop culture, the leveled up woman is never shown to be somebody that you can root for. And this person, like, they made a great point. They were pointing out some movies where they feel like a woman, like we are made to root for her as the audience in the media, basically trying to say like, oh, well, don't forget about these ones. And we continue the discussion down in the comments a little bit, that there is some nuance to that. Women who are leveling up oftentimes in the media are seen as somebody that we can root for. And that's not even always the case either. But typically the woman who was already leveled up, when we as the audience turn on the show, turn on the movie, they are always bad in some way. Like with Regina George, already leveled up and so therefore bad for us, versus, dang, I don't remember the actual main character of the movie. I don't remember her name, but because she was leveling up, then she's somebody that we can root for. And I don't know why I was also just thinking of the example of Legally Blonde, where she's somebody who at the beginning, she basically has it all, but she doesn't necessarily, like, she has the money, she has the looks, she has like the fitness, the social life, all of those things. But what she does not yet have is like the status and the education. So she doesn't have like the law degree, and she doesn't have, in certain circles, pursuing that level of education can help kind of counteract from, like, if you have maybe a family name or a background that's thought of to be a little bit more trashy, or more so, more like a socialite or something, or like a trophy wife is like what the women in your family have been known to be, something that's less respectable than maybe being a lot of these families who the man and the woman have both been Ivy League educated, and that's how they met each other, or it was more so like an arranged thing where it was like assumed that they were going to be married type of thing. So that's two different things. Like with Elle, she didn't have the status. She had the look, she had, she even had the guy, but she didn't have the status required to keep that type of guy, that type of relationship. Spoiler alert, she found something better, which got with Emmett, and she really just cared about her own business, and she really cared about her own bags. And she was thriving and doing amazing. But I wanted to talk about how that is going to be the case. Something that you're going to come across in your life is that you have to understand that even if you are viewing leveling up and social climbing as a journey, something that doesn't have an end date. And so, like, you have to think about how you may look to other people, right? Just you may see yourself as more so like an Elle from Legally Blondes, or you may see yourself more so like a Pretty Woman or something where you feel as though you are still becoming because you see yourself as leveling up. But you have to be aware that some people see you as leveled up. They don't see, like, and this is something that, like, I know there's this trend where, like, I've been seeing influencers be like, okay, I'm going to show you my insecurity. Can you see it? And they're just like standing there, sitting there or whatever. And they're like, see, exactly. You can't tell what my insecurities are, and other people can't tell what your insecurities are either. And that's something that I think for a lot of women on this level up journey, what's going to be tough maybe is to, I've made another video before talking about viewing other women through the male gaze. Sometimes you may have to view yourself through the eyes of a hater, or view yourself through the eyes of the male gaze to really understand what is it that people are seeing. Because I think that when you, whether you grew up in an environment where you were not celebrated, maybe like you, are one of the exoticals where you grew up in monoracially black, unambiguous, dark skin type of background, and that's the majority of the people that you were around. And so you were more so triangulated against other people. You were not necessarily directly praised, or you were thrown in and out of blackness. You're kind of experiencing this sort of whiplash, or you don't completely know how you look to the rest of the world. This can even happen if you I feel like this happens oftentimes if you don't grow up in like an exotical majority type of background. I would say if your background is, even monoracially white, you can also have this thing where you're maybe not aware of how beautiful you are in a room of everybody. In one type of setting, it may be that, maybe your types of curves were not praised. Maybe your type of hair was not praised. Maybe there were certain things about you where you were you were aware that you were not the dominant beauty standard. And so, you are picking up that, okay, there are flaws in me, but sometimes we don't understand when we're around like our hater archetype, they can over magnify our flaws to us, or it may be something that's not even a flaw that they're trying to make you less confident about. And maybe they want you to think it's a flaw and it's really not. But this can happen where we don't even understand whether it is how thin we are. Maybe it is how beautiful we are. Maybe it's how elegant we are. Maybe it's how classy we are, or how educated, how eloquent, how talented, how fit we are. All of these different things, we don't even realize how other people are perceiving us. For some people, it could be how sexy you are. It could be like, you don't even know. You have no idea. And so when people are, maybe reacting to you with envy, you're like confused. You're like, because maybe behind closed doors, you are just a regular human like everybody else. You're having your tough days too. You have those days where you maybe don't want to get up out of the bed, or you have the things that are stressing you out. You have your traumas, you have your heartbreaks, you have the things that you're afraid of, the things that you worry about, whatever that looks like. You have trials that you get through. You have, struggles that you face just like everybody else. But because of you being on that pedestal, you have to understand that people are going to be more inclined to view you like a Regina George than they will be inclined to see you like an Elle. A lot of people, they're not going to see you like Elle. Where I feel like, there were a lot of people who obviously didn't like Elle either, but with her, it was very much obvious that she was, good-natured. People assumed that she was good-natured. People assumed that she was sweet. People assumed that she was kind. And was she all those things? Yes, she was. But because of the fact that she was, I think her being seen as trying to level up, and her making it very obvious that there was something that she still wanted that she had not attained yet. I think that's how a lot of people can relate more so too. And I think that, you know, if you're somebody like a Regina George, where you may seem like you have it all together, people are going to be more comfortable placing you in the box of somebody who's mean, somebody who's nasty, somebody, you know, even little things like you not speaking to somebody, you not hearing somebody, and people will take it more personally from you because you have for them almost like this reverse halo effect where they're reading everything that you do through the eyes of, she's this mean girl, she's, you know, she's a B word, I bet she's a bully, I bet that she wouldn't want to be my friend, I bet she wouldn't want to hang out with me. People are, you know, going to be reacting to nothing, things that you didn't do, but your beauty kind of already came into the room. Your poise already came into the room and offended them already, made them feel like they were not good enough. And I think that it does help for us to be aware of how other people view us. You don't have to view yourself that way, but I think it does help a little bit more, especially with the aspect of social intelligence, where being aware that, like, okay, I know that I look really good today. I know that. I, you know, am feeling very good. I'm very happy. I know I'm going to go out. Okay, where am I going to be? May I come across, like, and I feel like the better you get at this, you're going to eventually, like, know, am I going to come across, you know, a dirty look, or am I going to deal with some drama or something today just based off of this? You know, you're going to start to understand, like, well, it probably will be fine because, well, I look like XYZ, and I do this, and I'm this kind of person, and people can usually tell XYZ about me, and my hater archetype is this type of people, and I don't think I'm going to encounter my hater archetype over here. Or, yeah, this is what I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. I am not going to assume everybody's jealous of me, but I strongly believe that my hater archetype is going to be frequenting this event or frequenting this environment or whatever the situation is. It just makes it a lot easier for you to understand that even if you are leveling up, people cannot necessarily see that. A lot of people just see, the poised, polished version. Like, let's say you have a notebook or you have a journal or something where you're working on all of the things that you don't quite have yet. But maybe you have, hair down, nails down, body T, like face beat, like, or maybe it's not beat. Maybe you're like more of a natural girl or, you know, whatever. I know for a while I was going all the hoo-ha craziness over here about like, oh, beat your face. I'm a big believer in that. And I don't know if it's just because, my hobbies have shifted. I know that there are certain things that have shifted in my life. I'm a big believer in whatever that is for you. You know, there are certain things where you may have all of these things. Maybe your appearance is good. Your weight's in like snatched. You're good. There are some people who are still working on trying to get a summer body. You had your summer body back in the winter time. You had your summer body ready in the spring. You are ready to show it off now, sister. And you know, there are going to be situations where you are needing to view yourself and understand. Let's say you have this one big dream that you're working towards and you haven't realized it yet, or you haven't made it come true in your life yet. And maybe you have a lot of energy going towards that and you don't feel like you're where you want to be at, you know, in life yet because you don't have this. Other people can't tell that. They just see that your waist is gone, honey. They just see that they have 7 chins and you have 1. They just see that you can, like, especially when you become a young woman who, you know, you're more so into the mindset of, it is not bad for me to put time into myself, put effort into discovering myself. And let's say you really know how to dress to accentuate what you have going on, and you're very confident in your style, and you look very put together. And, you know, maybe you are somebody where you put out positive energy into the world. You don't really think it's cool to like just be complaining all the time. You're just like actually positive. Even if you have things that you're maybe stressed about or like a problem that you're working on solving, you still are not treating people in that way. And people will envy you for that. And they're going to treat you more so the way that they do in the media, the way they treat the already pre-leveled up woman. This would be like, if you guys watch Gossip Girl, this is something that I think I just watched Gossip Girl like maybe I watched the series twice. I think I started rewatching it recently. It was something that I only watched for the first time within the last couple years. Somebody recommended it to me. I was like, I'm about to watch that. And I loved it. It was amazing. But, if you think about like Blair Waldorf, maybe, she is somebody who already at the beginning of the season, you would call in many ways leveled up already. She already had the parents who had built a certain type of life for her. She already had, the clout in the school. She already had a certain type of, thing about her, which because of that, because of her like having a very strong sense of direction and her being very sure of where she was going to go and all of these things, she is in the media. In a show like that, pretty much it takes a while for them to humanize Blair, because that's the thing. When a female character is already leveled up, they're going to by default be the B word. Ooh, sorry, that's I just have this gallon of water that just like fell out of my bed where I'm recording. And I saw it about to happen too. But versus if you look at somebody like Serena, where she from the beginning of the series is kind of like always seen drunk, or she's on drugs, or you see her over the source of, or over the course of the show, she starts to level up. And it's easier to humanize a character like that. You're going to like a character like Serena typically more, at least at first, because you see her leveling up. Even if she's able to jet set here and there, even if she's already rich, you see that area where she doesn't have it together. And people who don't obviously show this areas where they don't have it together, it makes it where they're like less of an object of envy. It's easier for people to humanize them and to treat them like their fellow person. I think that they're less up on a pedestal and they're more approachable. But if you're the type of person where people, they're not owed access to all of the information about you, especially in like your everyday life when you're knowing that you're dealing with your hater archetype, why would you just give them more ammunition? That doesn't even make sense. But what do you think about this, worldies? Let me know down in the comments below. And until next time, worldies, eyes on the prize.